stacked up against the wall, and the bandwagon's falling right off. And you're hearing all the talk about maybe you should think about what you're gonna do if it don't work out. It ain't about if it makes sense, 'cause if the book do it don't fit. As far as I can see, there ain't no way to be somebody if you just don't quit. So if you gotta fight, don't lose it. If you gotta do it, die, dream, do it. If you got something to prove, go on, prove it. Don't let nobody clip your wings. Keep your head down, keep on the blinders. Tune out the doubters and all the close minders. If it's in your blood, falling down ain't enough to change you. You're born to be. Get back up, that's the only backup plan you need. Backup plan you need.
Welcome back, Rico Money Bags, a channel helping you invest in yourself so we can invest in the future. Make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, keep the bell notification lit, especially on days like this. Bitcoin falling from grace. Oh my God, what are we gonna freaking do? Man, a lot of this stuff we talked about. Are there some prices that we're seeing that even I'm a little bit surprised? Absolutely, right? And of course, some people probably could have predicted exactly to this marker, but a lot of the prices that we actually talked about, the way that Bitcoin was moving, the way it was getting rejected, we saw some of this, sell pressure happening. And then you got some Michael Saylor selling, a little bit of spookiness, some more war stuff, tariff talk all over again. And that's now the ingredients have changed. Now we have a recipe for, a $65,000 BTC, and even dropping probably even lower right now as we speak. So I know that there's going to be a little impulse move up. I was talking to Darren and Danielle and a TG that we were talking in, and it was at the $67,000 range. And there was a little impulse up, but it was met again with just a rejection under 200 and, coming a little bit further down. And that's why we do this, fam. The good, the bad, the ugly, the pretty, all that stuff, because it's times like this where it's like, all right, that's just the trend that we're in right now. But your conviction plays, your strong communities. I saw Thierry doing fantastically great. XPX, we got utility this month. Yesterday was more meetings. Today was pretty straightforward and stuff. So just kind of getting media and things like that ready. So we're looking pretty good. Make a space for us on the 9th coming up. Some really cool announcements and really exciting month for us. And I think these types of markets focus on those meme coins that have strong communities, focuses on those utility plays that are delivering for their investors, no matter, the market conditions. And yeah, sometimes we time things right and we're doing things, but this is massive for us, for XPX. If you guys are new, I see some new listeners on the Pump Fund live stream. Make sure you guys give us a look. We talk about all things crypto over here, but when it comes to XPX, we're going to continue to deliver, and that's what we're here to do. We've crossed over $380,000 in paid orders, and when the market conditions are like this, it's like that's why we focus on building, utility that people can use in any market conditions, and that is payments, right? So we're going to jump into some Bitcoin prices. We'll jump into Ethereum, XRP, all your favorite meme coins, those communities that pull up to really represent their bags and protect their investments. Pull up, use the comments and let everybody know what's going on. Let's jump right into TradingView. Overall crypto market cap 2.28. When we lose at 2.50, you see how things kind of slip away from us. And again, on a high time frame, this 4-hour chart was extremely respected, and we did see some of this coming down to these prices. And we're like, hey, that'd be pretty interesting if it broke past that. We'll see even some lower prices. But this support was, if we broke this, we would see lower. And we did see lower. This sell signal, although it's a 4-hour chart, and I know these trading signals on a higher time frame can be pretty boring to set up, and you're waiting for a while. But who cares if you're really just going to catch, a nice little runner like this on, a 4-hour time frame. Moving over to the daily chart, we're actually going to jump to the weekly chart because we actually have some very important things to talk about when it comes to the weekly chart. All right, so make sure that you guys are sharing this stream. You guys are staying tapped in. So here we go, coming back into this range that we were before. Remember, this is where we got the sell signal on the daily chart. Even if you waited for a daily chart sell signal and you waited for some confirmation of these previous resistance turning into future support, eventually losing this support, we have this sell signal right here, and then we had the point of control, which that point of control seemed super far away when I was saying 68,000. Now, I thought that we would go to 68,000, 67,000. I was talking to Danielle and Darren, where we would even have possibly like a little impulse move from the point of control, just trying to go up. But it actually is coming right back down to where we've been before, and then we get stuck in this range once again. So this is why we do what we do when we're streaming on this, because a lot of people won't cover this, the ugly part. And even this sell signal, I was like, hey, not fudding, not being bearish, focusing on building, because you have to see when these things start to reject major moving averages, you get your sell signals, you have the point of control pulling it down like a magnet. Like all those things mean something, right? They're stacking up in one way or another. And we're seeing where if you were tuning in on my other streams, you would have seen this already, right? Now, I'm not saying that you're taking trades on this because this is not financial advice, but at least as far as, waking up, and even I woke up and I saw, whoa, those prices are cheap, 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 right? But at the end of the day, it wasn't like, all right, well, that is exactly where, when we were talking about on streams, when we were talking about the good and the bad, we were highlighting 68,000. Sitting right here talking to you at 65,300, is that pretty surprising? Yeah. Usually there's a little impulse move, but am I super shocked that maybe it's trying to find price over here on the daily? Nah, because time and price likes to come back together. And so this is a price that we all have to look at. And with Bitcoin struggling at 65,000, falling from grace, man, that title hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, that's going to be the title for the live stream: Bitcoin falling from grace. Oh my God, right? But we've been here before. This is why some of that stuff that I talk about, it's like you don't want to hear it all the time, because it's like, it sucks that we can come down and it sounds bearish or whatever, and you want to tell everybody that the markets are going to pump. You want the markets to pump, but I think protecting the subscribers and protecting the investors to find cheaper prices is kind of what I've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. Cheaper prices, because this rejection on this 200 moving average, we've been, it's now the writing's on the wall. Now, we can see it. Now, for those tuning in, this is where the nitty gritty comes in, because we got to go to the weekly chart, and we're back at a critical point, really close to that same critical point that we were before when we're looking at the weekly chart. Now, on this daily chart, maybe we get back into this range and we're trading in here again, just to come back up here and meet the 200, possibly, closer to this section, to get up and do some of that. Now, that'd be absolutely amazing, right? But we need some things to calm down overall, right? But when we go to the weekly chart, this is where some people were saying 40,000 BTC, and I want to know, like, if the chat's listening, you guys are tuned in, if you guys got some time, let me know. Does the sound of 40K BTC sound realistic? What's up, Prophet Bear? Welcome in. Yeah, XPX is looking really good, bro. The communities, we're strong right now. We got an exciting month, man. I appreciate you guys pulling up, holding strong. And right now, like even like Thierry looking really good. Thierry's holding really strong. Like shout out to Lisa, shout out to Ben Billions. With the market conditions, they got that thing honed in. And I think we're at that point where a lot of us are securing the supply. Like all the supply underneath $1 million market cap should be owned by those who want to see XPX fly long term and make that eventually the floor, is that $1 million market cap. And it's very doable. All right, this is where we have to have the conversation. But if you look at where BTC is holding on for its dear life while falling from grace, was that the bearish impulse move up? That's like one of the big things too that we gotta kind of talk about. Was this the bearish impulse move up right there? And now there's more down that follows. This is not going to be the most popular stream because we're talking about some of the ugly stuff, right? But if you look exactly where the body of this candle is right now, this dotted line, right? Because it's showing price all the way over here on the right. The body of the candle is holding on for dear life on this 200 moving average. Now, we're not being the bearer of bad news, but those people are talking about 40,000. There is some price right here on this volume profile where 41,000 could be pulled to this. And then you got this even right here, the point of control on the weekly chart says 27,000, which, I don't think that could happen, but also, 65,000. Look at where we're at now, right? That would be a lot to go down. It obviously wouldn't happen from today or tomorrow or just like from one day to the next. But what's nice is Bitcoin again is holding on to this 200 moving average. Now, granted, last time I was doing that too, holding on to it, but eventually it started to break through where we had this nice little move back through it. But this is where we really got to hold on. Like BTC really has to hold on to this and just try to march on this 200 moving average to get back above this, where this previous resistance was why we had this nice little move up, right, to the upper valley range on the weekly chart, going right up to that 82,000 and then kind of getting exactly rejected on the 200 moving average on the daily chart. So, yeah, things are pretty bearish right now, and, like I've been saying for a little bit, like, I know people don't want to say it. It's not a bear. It's a little cub or something, right? It's some kind of a baby bear or something because the way the price is moving. And granted, yeah, we can point the finger in a bunch of different directions, but a lot of this comes down to the technicals as well, where like this stuff just does this no matter what because it'll come back to where prices been before. And we're seeing that right now on the daily chart. We're seeing that right now on the daily chart when you zoom out, where it's like literally hunting previous price that it was hanging out at, right? So this is where I guess would be our next thing. Remember, we talked about this one being where if we broke through, it probably would go lower. And breaking through 62,000, going, even lower down to 60,000, breaking that 60,000 if we called it exactly on the wick like that, and not just a point which if you look, this thing lands right on the lower valley range. But if it broke through that, does some of that stuff become real on the weekly chart of going down to 40K would be the question. So shorts are printing right now. If you're shorting or you're bearing the market right now, that's probably doing really good for everybody. And I get it. The markets are being extremely tough right now. If you're trying to long or trying to find the bottom to long, you got your 4-hour chart's been bearish. It's been telling you for a while. And you can just wait for a 4-hour chart. You've been waiting this long anyways. So why not just wait for a higher time frame like when the 4-hour chart did this for us, right? And broke above and we got to ride this wave. Wait for that for your long to play out. But right now, even on a 4-hour chart, Bitcoin has been trading far away from this 200 moving average this whole time. Right? So patience is a virtue, and I'm really glad that those who tune in and rock with me, the XPX community, other communities that pull up to the live streams, because essentially our patience paid off tremendously with this daily chart. And when everybody, we're getting excited too, and it was nice to see Bitcoin at 81K, but we waited for the legit confirmation and us being able to wait and still being, I don't know. It really played out really well, right? So shout out to everybody who's been tuning in, who keeps the bell notification lit, because this is some of the alpha that you're not going to catch everywhere in the space. It's just going to be, the opposite of this. These are the facts right here. And this is why we stood being very patient on these prices. So I would keep an eye for 62K, 60K BTC and seeing if price can turn around before we can start talking about, getting back up to 74K. If it can get back up above 74K, that'd be extremely bullish. But we definitely got some work to do, fam. Here we go with ETH on the 4-hour chart. Remember when I was talking about $1,800 ETH and that sounded super far away? We're at $1,800 ETH that went down to 1,791. How many days, we've been streaming and we've been talking about this $1,800 Ethereum, no crystal ball, no magic guru, not a financial advisor, looking at the chart and looking at the volume profile where price can possibly come back down to before, because that's where buyers and sellers were shaking hands. And that was transpiring mainly on the info that we were getting over here on the daily chart. And this daily chart, again, proved to be true as well. If you would have waited for the daily chart, sell signal right here, broke right through the point of control, and $1,800 Ethereum was just a lower value range. That's all it was. And that's how we got $1,800 ETH. Now, obviously, if we break underneath this, then we got to have to address some prices on a higher time frame of how low can this be going, right? Because we see all these support levels over here, and this is that range that we were in before when we saw ETH starting to break out and kind of trend up towards the 200 moving average. So let's go to the weekly chart right now on Ethereum and look at where the point of control is at and where price could be dragged down to. This point of control down here is 1,580, $1,580 Ethereum, or the lower value range, which is right at 1,500. Now, those prices might sound like, what, Rico, 1,500? That's wild. Is it really, though? Because it's been over here before. That's where that stuff that sounds really wild is like, all right, that's fine if it sounds wild, but where is it coming from? And you're seeing this volume profile give you this this area where you can identify it, right? It's just bringing out this green line, making it very easy. But even if you weren't using it, you can see buyers and sellers all through this. And this is why the volume profile has that drawn out. And we could see where price could get drawn even lower. And looking backwards is where you're going to see where you can talk about some crazy prices that people don't want to hear. You know, $1,000 Ethereum. Nobody wants to hear that. You know, nobody wants to tune into that. But it's like, dude, get it on the dip, short it on the way down, and buy your favorite plays, or just buy your favorite DeFi play. You know, your full conviction play right now. This is when you hone into your conviction play, because right now we're at the mercy of the markets. Literally, we're at the mercy of the markets, and you can either try to fight against the current, or just be like, hey, this is okay because we did bounce off of this before, so it's not all doom and gloom. It's not all doom and gloom. When you see Ethereum did bounce off of this before. Now, if it went past that, then, $1,000 Ethereum starts to sound kind of realistic. That's ETH right there. Crazy liquidations happening now. So here goes your XRP. And same thing. I mean, some of the prices we were talking about sounded super far away. And the section that we didn't want it to break through, otherwise it would slip even further, it's shown to be true. Now, that could have been the spot where we thought that maybe we would have an impulse move up. It didn't happen. It just didn't happen because we had, looking backwards, arrow here, arrow here, arrow here, where, yeah, you could very easily, even myself, think, all right. But if it broke past that, you got to be able to change the topic really quick and be like, you know what, that's it. And that's why that's there, to help us identify this. We have the volume profile giving us this, but looking backwards is why we could find where, identifying these levels were crucial to see how price could slip even further if it broke past that. And even if you waited for that and for your confirmation, where there's your green candle starting to break out and you got your three amigos starting to march up, your three soldiers, whatever three people you want to call them, or you have that breakout towards the bottom, you're like, all right, well, check that out. I got to be bearish on it now. And let's get the arrows out the way. Let's get some of them out the way. Let's get these out the way. And going to the weekly chart on XRP. I mean, this is XRP. Good news on XRP. Everything's good, and it's still pulling back, right? So let's go to the daily chart on XRP, and then we'll go to the weekly chart. And this is where, going on the daily chart, where the volume profile is at down here, whereas wick before was $1.12. So can XRP fall another 8 cents? Yes, no, maybe so. And, would you be shocked that it went down there? Probably not, because you guys are tuning in, right? And, we're addressing these things. It's not just That's why during these times when you're having, whether you're building a community where a meme coin, or whether you're building utility, RWA, during this time it's super important to do that, because this is gonna have its sting no matter what. And it's very possible that we see on the daily chart XRP come down to where it's been before. We're not just snatching prices out the air and making up different prices that it can go down to. We're looking at this volume profile and we're saying, hey, 111, 112, very doable. Very, very doable. And if we go to the weekly chart, and this is going to be a topic of, if it breaks past this, would you think that it could go lower, right? Because we're going to see some scary stuff on the weekly chart. Because on the weekly chart, you got XRP, this could be full-blown bear market for XRP. Breaking past this, where we kind of identify and need to hold on to. Now it's holding on to that, but it's well underneath the 200. This point of control on the weekly chart is 52 cents. At that point, that's bear market. That's no longer a baby cub. That's full-blown bear. And so right now we're back at a crucial point where before, even when the liquidation happened October 10th, it came down to other points when it came right to this section. We're right there again where, things do need to turn around and break past this to get back where, this resistance is broken above $1.50 and the XRP is feeling bullish all over again. What would it take? What would it honestly take? That's going to be one of the questions as well. Like, what would it honestly take? And I still think that even like some of the community members that pulled up, some of the prices that they were saying, weeks ago sound far away, but now they're looking pretty realistic. So definitely some cheaper prices on XRP if you're bullish on this. BNB had a nice little breakout and was met with a rejection. We'll go down to the 4-hour chart first and just kind of get a look at it. This was the move that it did, which was up to $746 on BNB, proving that it does have a mind of its own when everything else was going down, but also proof that it was subject to the market, right? And now you got it coming way down to $624 on the 4-hour chart, breaking well past the 200 moving average, right? And it's underneath this. So are we going to be trading underneath it for a while? And that's when we go to the daily chart and look at where those prices can actually drive us to. Where is this section at? Where's all this? Where will we be like hanging out at if that 4-hour confirmation of breaking through that 200-hour moving average gets confirmed and we get a sell signal like you saw in all the other ones? You probably could do the same thing on BNB. And right here, this lower valley range on BNB is 580. There could be a nice little short on BNB right now down to 580 because, well, here we go with prices hanging out down here before. And that's why we have the volume profile with this green line right here. So you can see now this is where we would address things going further down and going into the weekly chart on BNB. If we broke past this, right? Do we go lower? Because when we break past that on the daily chart, coincidentally, not so much coincidentally, we're right at the 200 moving average. And this is where things on the weekly chart will look scary for BNB, just like it's kind of looking scary for XRP, right? Where if it broke past this, the point of control for BNB now on the weekly chart is 309. 309. So again, we're at this point where we've been before. It's a crucial area, fam. It is what it is. So any of this is still valid good. Staying inside of this range and eventually breaking out for BNB, very good. Very, very good. Now, this is where that daily chart conversation and this weekly chart conversation comes together, where if you see this breaking past on this and not bouncing off of it, then that weekly chart confirmation of falling lower could be realistic. It could be real, right? So let's keep those prices in mind. I know they're not the best prices to talk about, but we are in a crucial area where the markets need to, make it happen. We've been here before. BNB's dragging a little bit behind, which it usually does. But this would be that section where we want things to trade in between here before that breakout could happen. And if it broke lower, then we got to talk about the prices on the weekly chart for sure. All right, let's clean this up a little bit. If you guys got some tickers you guys want to look at as well, whether it's golds, silver, oil, whatever you guys want to look at right now, I think it's a good day to bring up some tickers to kind of check some things out. Oh, what am I doing? Clean this up, and then we'll go to our next one, Solana. Appreciate you guys pulling up, sharing the stream. I know it's a rough day for crypto. And here we go with Solana. We'll go to the 4-hour chart first. And so like that, we can respect these volume profiles and when things get broken through, and also respect like even the sell signal down here. You didn't get it right here. Excuse me, you got it right here. And now it's pulling back even further. $72 Solana. And this is kind of the price where it's like everybody kind of seen it coming, $80. And then this is some of the extra that's like, woo, markets are dipping. But then when you look at the daily chart, some of that shock goes away because here you are where you've been here before. It's just coming off of the euphoric ride. It feels like, come on. But here we are again where, we wicked down here before. We've been down here before and we're exactly there again. And again, a very crucial area for all things BTC, all things Solana, all things XRP is kind of breaking past it already. But BNB definitely still in that crucial area. Solana in that crucial area. And where breaking past is where the weekly chart comes into play and you're checking it out, right? Because on the weekly chart, even if you played the weekly game, we've been broke past the 200 moving average and there was a sell signal. Now this point of control over here comes down to $21 Solana. That's full-blown bear market at that point. So on these daily time frames for Solana, we're at a very crucial point on the weekly chart. We just need to turn this around ASAP. We need to break right past this $85 and get above this 200 moving average on the weekly chart, because we are trading in the red area for, the month or the weekly chart for Solana. Now you look at the monthly chart and everybody's just overreacting. It's just a correction. But when you're living it, you can feel it, right? So the more you zoom out, the less, it looks crazy. And it's like, all right, this is part of it. It is a higher low, technically. It is a higher low, technically, So we'll keep that in mind right there. With Solana. Let's go to the next one. We got gold right here. Gold again, this 4-hour chart, sell signal, good. Daily chart, gold is at a crucial point as well. So, gold is it's not excused from everything that's going on, because coming down to here and breaking past this, going to the weekly chart is where you find gold. Look at this. This is right where the signal would turn red. And it would come right down to where my brother said he would buy more gold, down to 3,500, which it is getting close to where it would literally bump right into the 200 moving average, possibly bounce off of it, go higher, or if it broke past it, go lower. So even gold is sitting at an area where, yeah, it's got a buy signal, but very soon, if it broke past this, and you're looking at this daily chart, it's right there. If it breaks past this on the daily chart, we go into this range down here, where on the weekly chart, we're talking about some cheaper gold prices. So even gold is not excused from this bearish momentum right now. And I know there's some upticks here and there, stocks, new liquidity injections, new liquidity pools, whatever it might be. But the overall market is just feeling this. And this is why your conviction plays on your meme coins, your RWAs, your payment rails is super important, because at least you got somewhat, you're involved in it. You're more in the mix. A lot of this stuff, you can't change none of this. You can send your conviction plate higher and make people, if you're the only green thing sticking out when silver is going through it and everything else is going through it, it's a lot easier. Here we go with silver prices. Again, possibly coming down to $54. We got this marked up. This daily chart breaking past this 200 moving average. This is where that weekly chart comes to life, and those those prices. If we kept going trading and we got underneath this, coming to the weekly chart, it's like, oh, well, look what we have here. And we got the 200 coming right in this direction. And it would most likely, right here, it would for sure flip it red once it broke past that. These previous ways low, if they broke past that, it'll flip a sell signal and most likely come and search for that 200 moving average. So $54 silver doesn't sound far-fetched. We'll see. Are these the bottoms? Is this the floor? That's the big question right now. Yeah. Let's look at BTC again. $65,000 BTC. Wild. All right, let's go to some gems, fam. I know that I wish we had better news for everybody. That would be awesome, right? That would just be nice. But it's why we've been doing this for a while and kind of just been telling everybody, like, we've been kind of warning everybody for like a week or two already that those lower prices looked at like they were pulling on it, right? All right, so very cool developments for everybody tuning in for XPX. I do appreciate everybody. We are looking really good. Some of this pullback is natural from Solana pulling back. So we got a strong floor right here. The community's holding really strong. I said we keep pushing really strong. We got a fire month this month. Utility about to be released. It's a fire utility, fam, and it's going to help with onboarding people a lot faster. A lot of cool things. And if you guys tune into our space coming up on the 9th, I mean, the days go by so fast. Oh, that's another reason. I accidentally put on the XPX account and not the Rico Moneybags account. That's all right. Come over here and tune in with us on the 9th. Do not miss this right here. I'm going to share this link in the chat for those who tune in later on. Copy the link. Share this right here. Share it in the Pump Fun chat as well. Those who are tuning in later on and catch this stream, definitely tune in. I wanted to have a chat with the community kind of inside of the Telegram and have everybody pull up into TG because, there is this new option on Pump Fun where we can turn it on. But once we turn it on, we can never turn it off. And where it's just turning on automatic buybacks and burns through a smart agent. So, we're seeing this evolve more and more when it's coming to smart agents handling things. So, just keep that in mind, right? So, yeah, so all things XPX coming up on the 9th. And for those who don't know, founder of XPX, fire team, excited team, amazing community, and amazing utilities. What kind of utilities are we talking? We're talking all things payment rails, bear market, bull market. You need payment rails. So come over to xpxpay.com, check us out, and honestly get a bag on the BNB chain and get a bag on the Solana chain because you are super early. We just crossed over $382,000 in paid orders. We're coming up on our 2-year anniversary and we got more utility. We've been releasing utility for 2 years. We're going to keep doing that because we're building the foundation for when retail comes in. No matter the market conditions, payments is very relative to what's going on in cryptocurrency. In fact, if you go and look at the Satoshi Nakamoto white paper, that's exactly what it talks about, electronic cash system. And that's what we're providing for everybody right now that's looking to get 100K MasterCards from 100K limit MasterCard, non-KYC 10K limit MasterCard, non-KYC bill payments, and non-KYC gift cards. Fam, if you're looking to help somebody out or send somebody some money and you don't want to send, actual credentials, you can just send them a gift card for what they need via their email, and they can open it up and add money to their Uber Eats, add money to their DoorDash, add money to their Uber account to maybe catch a ride somewhere and help somebody out, right? Because that's what crypto is meant to do at the end of the day. It's here for a lot of good reasons. Some of the good reasons that we also have been doing is our donation widget, which that is really going to catch on as well. We already got projects using it. We've already hit our goal. Some of the other projects are working on hitting their goal, but that's going to be a huge meta into space. Same thing with our payroll feature. Like these things are where the space is going to evolve to no matter what. So if you're looking to be an early investor in a project that's coming up on 2 years, you guys see the founder on a regular basis, The community's active. We're always active in the Telegram. We're on the Binance Smart Chain and Solana, making it easy for you guys to get a part of this on whatever chain that fits you or suits you the best. And you're seeing something being built for real. And I think maybe this year that would be absolutely epic. Maybe with this new utility, we onboard more and more clients where we can push this and turn this into a 7-figure company. It's right there. It's at 382,000. The year's not even over. XPX, we're building something. And if you're an investor in XPX, I just want to personally say thank you to you guys, because without the support of the community over the last 2 years, none of this would be able to be done, right? It would just be, I could just be on a YouTube channel talking nonstop and it wouldn't be nothing. We have some amazing community members, investors that also see where crypto's headed no matter what. And you guys know it, whether you're a degen, whether you're an NFT flipper, whether you're in the metaverse, you know that all roads lead to payments. The number one question from retail is, how do I spend the crypto that I bought? And we allow everybody to do that. Whether you're a meme coin aficionado and you want to off ramp your Shiba Inu and you want to off ramp your Floki or something like that, come to xpxpay.com. Whether you're a business that wants to make sure that they're not being left behind, as far as being able to accept cryptocurrency, but their business being able to do something with that cryptocurrency, which is very important. You can accept cryptocurrency, but actually giving the businesses the power to do something with that cryptocurrency is that next level. Eventually giving those businesses the power to pay their employees in cryptocurrency. So then those employees can choose to either use a MasterCard, Visa card, non-KYC cards, non-KYC bill payments to take care of, their water bill, electric bill, their loans on their cars. That's all via done XPX right here today, not tomorrow. We're really doing this. And I want to keep growing this with everybody, no matter what the market conditions are. Actually, when the market conditions get worse and worse, it reminds me why XPX is here, right? Because it doesn't matter what market condition you're in. This is very important. So if you want the power to spend your crypto, and maybe you're off ramping some crypto, you got stable coins, altcoins, whatever it might be, you can off ramp that today. xpxpay.com is the way to empower yourself to spend your cryptocurrency in any market condition. Like I said, we've founded this on Smart DeFi. I do want to give Smart DeFi a big shout out. They've also been building nonstop over the years, and starting off on Smart DeFi, starting off on the Binance Smart Chain, really laid the foundation for XPX to win. So if you're looking and you're a BNB person, come over here to smartdefi.com and get a bag of, XPX on the BNB chain. We're actually at a really good floor. I say when we break past and we delete a zero again, a lot of people that faded us will actually start to come back. And this project deserves that. We are turning this thing into a multi-million-dollar company. You guys will see. Just be patient and wait, and you guys will see that. So 155K market cap on the BNB chain, super discount. And you guys can come over here also on the Solana chain and get a bag right now at 140K market cap. So both chains holding relatively well with the market conditions. This is BNB pulling back, this is Solana pulling back, and we're holding super strong. We're in a baby bear, and we're continuously focusing on building and letting the chart work itself out. You guys are super early on this right here. Buy your shares of XPX right now on BNB or the Solana chain. All right, let's go into some degen activities if you guys don't mind. Let's go right over here to, we've just been checking out some stuff. Some of the other ones, even some of the biggest ones like LOL, I was checking out. They got their pullback, and they got a massive community. They got massive KOLs, and they're going through their pullback and their consolidation period as well. We're waiting for that roar of the market. And if your conviction play is LOL, if it's XPX, this is where you find cheaper prices. And like Ben Billion says, and we're going to bring up Thierry, fantastic community. The red days are the bread days. The red days are the bread days. And, if you're bullish on LOL and you think this is a strong narrative, then this is a red day where, could be a bread day for you when it gets back over 5 million and things are pumping up really strong, because it did rally up to $10 million market cap and it's sitting right now at 1.4 and consolidating. Yeah, it can come down and touch 1 million. The markets are pretty tough right now. But again, if this is your conviction play, if you're a meme coin person, the red days are the bread days, right? So keep that in mind. And speaking of the red days being the bread days, I got to give the Thierry fam, I was checking them out this morning because obviously I got a bag early. I got some on the dip as well. And I'm just letting Ben Billions, Nira, and Lisa do their thing. But the red days are the bread days. And look at the markets today, and this thing is holding strong at 285. Had went up to this 356 all-time high, breaking past the previous all-time high once it started rallying up. Shook everybody out right back down to 100K. And then look, break over 200K. Because the thing is, you got to remember, if you're a listener right now of the Thierry fam of XPX, these sellers that sold, they're still in the Telegram. They're lurkers, bro. They're lurking. Oh man. And when they start seeing this thing pump back up and they know that there's no crying in the casino, this is when they start, oh, you know what? Let me add to this bag because it's pumping up again. And this proves to you that in any market condition, if the community pushes and you start, you shook everybody out, they went all the way down to 15K market cap. Now they're at 285. So pretty impressive move. I could see Thierry breaking $1 million market cap because Ben won't stop, Nero won't stop, Lisa won't stop. They've been in the crypto space for so long. They've helped so many projects. If you want a safe project where people that are honestly sick and tired of, some of the stuff that you're probably sick and tired and you want a safe place to have a bag, then this is an easy place, right? So Thierry fam holding it down. Let's see if they got this updated. So this is updated now. You can go straight to the thing. Something went wrong. Not sure why. Here we go. They've been doing that with they're trying to stop how powerful this is. But if you guys go find Ben Billions, find Lisa as well, you guys can stay tapped into all the latest and greatest to what's going on with Nira and Ben and Thierry and Lisa and everything that they got going on, because this is looking really strong right now, looking really healthy and nice momentum up. And the thing is, like, again, they broke past 200K. I can easily see why this is happening because a lot of those people that sold are like, oh wow, like here it goes going up and everything's kind of. And then it's not just the narrative, but it's also the people behind it. Like, that these people are going to keep going. So it's like, you know what? Let me just hold the bag of Thierry because it's just solid, right? Appreciate you guys all pulling up. Appreciate you guys. We would have had more people, but I accidentally set it up to the XPX X account and not the Rico Moneybags account. But it's all good. It's all good. It's good for especially what we got coming up as well, what utility being released. This is something we saw popping up. It's trending. Low market cap, 155 Shibas. And, these plays are going to exist. The markets are a little bit more cutthroat right now. So obviously being cautious is probably super wise. But you're going to have your fresh plays doing really good. Things that are just launching today or launching yesterday or just picking up some momentum with some significant breakouts over certain market caps. You're going to see some of these things. And this is a pretty healthy looking chart considering the market conditions that we're in. How high can it go? The ceilings kind of come a little bit lower when the markets are kind of tough. Now there's going to be some projects that are going to be doing really good. Some that we've seen like Manifest. Let's check up on Manifest. See how's it going. Manifest has been like one that's just been kind of doing things differently, and it's still holding at 28 million, and that's a powerful narrative right there, and a strong community. This whole community in there, it's like it's holding 28 million right now with Solana at $72. Super impressive, right? So, strong communities is everything. So if you got your conviction play, hold strong, push harder. Don't let the market scare you because there's projects like this that really showcase what a strong community can do and push even stronger, right? And this is something that's probably doesn't even feel as risky as find the thing that just launched or something like that because it's holding such a high market cap when the rest of the markets wants to paper hand. This thing's just holding super strong. Oh, the F40. Oh my God. That's what it's got to be sometimes. I live this right here. It's like no matter what, I'm gonna see it through. Like no matter what, no matter the price, no matter the bandwagon falling off. You guys hear the intro. Whoever needs to fall off and needs to, hey, that's fine. Like there is none of that. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna follow through. And sometimes it's got to be this type of attitude, like screw a plan B. I'm just going to make it happen. This is going to be one of those things that just has to happen no matter what. And that manifesting attitude is powerful. And yeah, I love that right there. No plan B. This has to happen. So shout out to manifesting, holding really strong, now $28.2 million market cap. Everybody's still extremely interested in this, and it's doing really good, right? Some other top 10, Pablo Crow just also snatched this one up right here, did a CTO on this one, and now this thing's also rallying up. And you see, like, once you start breaking like certain market caps, like people are gonna follow quick. Like they cannot resist. They cannot resist. And you see this thing pumping really hard right now at 1.2. I caught wind of this late last night at like 700K market cap. It was like down here. And yeah, now it's pumping up really hard. It went up to 2.7. It's most likely on a lot of people's radar. You got your $1 million market cap. This is when we heard about it over here. This is where it's at, where it bounced right off of this, and this break passes 1 million, and people buying it up and holding sends it a lot higher. And right now we're right in that area where the market's being relatively tough. But if they push hard and you're the only thing causing a little bit of FOMO, people are going to follow, man. People are going to follow. All right, we got a couple more, and then we're going to give the tonsils a break because I do feel like I'm getting sick. Yeah, it's part of it, right? When you use your voice for the gig. So yeah, I use the voice a lot. So yeah, the back doesn't hurt that much, but you start getting a sore throat. You're like, oh no, not that. And it's crazy because it's 96 degrees outside right now. And so like I should just go jump in the pool. Because it's 96 degrees and that's getting towards that perfect weather. You start to get spoiled in Vegas where you want that 100 degrees to jump in. 96 anywhere else, that would be good enough to jump into the pool, which it is. It's hot. Vegas, you start getting to that point where you're like, man, 100 degrees would be perfect. Yeah, it sure is, man. It's looking good. It's looking good. It's looking interesting. It's looking interesting. What's crazy, TK, is like we kind of talked about it in these last couple weeks, like warning everybody of, Bitcoin going down to that point of control, which it did. It did. When I was first talking about it over here and, the sell signal and possibly coming to the point of control, that sounded super far away, 68,000, and it broke right past that. And it's probably heading towards these prices that we've seen before, and where we got highlighted in this range of coming down to 62K. If it broke past that, it gets even more juicier. It gets even more juicier if it breaks past 60K BTC. But that's why you got to hone in on your conviction plays, man. Your conviction plays, whether it's NFTs, whether it's the metaverse, whatever it's got to be, right now is the perfect time. And you know what? That's why this month I'm excited that even though the markets are trying to have everybody down and out, we have an exciting month up ahead. And, a lot of grind goes into this stuff. And, it's, to me, it's so worth it. And it's a reminder when the markets are testing everybody why XPX exists and why focusing on development is so important. Why that's one of the reasons we didn't get to 382K in paid orders by not focusing on development. That's what we focused on. And this is how we turned this thing into a multi-million-dollar business. And, we turned the project and the shares of XPX into extremely valuable gems that we all hold. And that's the ultimate goal, is to continue to focus on laying the foundation of what we know matters in this space, and that is payments, and turning this into a 7-figure company. And we're on track. We're on track no matter what the prices are of Bitcoin, and no matter what the bandwagon falling off, or the bandwagon, wherever the hell the bandwagon's at, it doesn't matter. When you focus on the main goal, you just stay locked in. And I think this is the main thing right here. This has been me coming up on 2 years. It's like, whatever, man. Screw a plan B. We just got to make this happen. And you know what? We're rewarded with, to me, I feel like, and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. You guys can let me know. I'm just being real with you guys. To me, I feel like we get rewarded as far as this actually following through, and this actually turning into a multi-million-dollar company. And it's on the verge of that. It's really on the verge of that. And to me, that's a huge reward that we've been, it's harder to blaze your own path, especially when, most people just want to see gains right away. So they're trading your chart or whatever. But we're really building something here. And I think a lot of you guys are extremely early. I want everybody who's really locked in to become whales in this, for us to control all the supply underneath $1 million market cap would be absolutely amazing. And just take this thing a lot further because we have the tools, we have the resources, and we have the capability to continue to expand. I'm currently working on some things for Q4 for XPX token, and it's pretty impressive to be honest with all of you guys. And it's something that would generate more revenue for us. And it's honestly where this space is evolving into. It's what it's turning into. And the fact that XPX, because we're in the realm of payments, we're able to pivot to what is relative and what's going on currently, even something for like Q4 XPX, and even following into the next year, which is crazy because, you're just following into the next year and then we're just going to be 3 years in. We're already working on stuff like that to make sure that we can stay relative to what the current technology and expectations of organizations are expecting from somebody providing payment rails. And you guys will see it's extremely bullish. We got utilities around the corner and we got things that are being built down the road that is really, really impressive and really continues to showcase how dedicated we are to staying relative to being a household name in off-ramp solutions. There's going to be a lot of them. We're not here to take anybody out. I'm not trying to whatever. We have fun with memes and stuff in Telegram, but really I'm here knocking this out with this amazing community to just be one of those faces on the Mount Rushmore of payments, and XPX is definitely one of them. I'll come over here to our X account again. If you guys missed it, if you guys are just tuning in, very important space for us coming up on the 9th. You guys don't want to miss it. Still working on some media and things like that, but a lot of the harder stuff, and actually the last couple of days have been pretty good because you still find bugs and stuff even coming up to getting really, really close, right? And that's just part of it. And that's a big shout out to Smart DeFi because I get a taste of what it really takes to like deliver, and making sure the UI and everything is working. And it's a lot, right? So if you guys got a team like that, the Feg token team, the XPX team, you guys got communities that see the vision and they're grinding for that and pushing forward. You don't want to fade those people, man. You really, really don't. So like I said, the 9th, 1 p.m., a little bit later space. Definitely don't want to miss it. Mark your calendars. We got our referral program still going. It's doing really good, actually. Our numbers are climbing up almost every single day, which is pretty cool. So don't miss on that. You guys can get as many. I would get your account already set up and ready, especially because the new utility would probably, it's going to help it even happen even faster, right? And make it more streamlined for you to refer even more people. So appreciate you guys. All things XPX looking really good for this month. The markets are testing everybody, no big deal, nothing that we haven't weathered before. And that's why we focus on the main goal, really laying the foundation to turning this into a household name in this .com moment, not getting lost in the sauce and 10 years down the road saying, well, we didn't build anything. I was just at the Caesar's Palace or at the Venetian all day and I paid for the electricity because I just funded all these machines and things like that, right? It's like you want to be a part of something that's actually building, and we actually are. I'm looking forward to more growth. I'm looking forward to more investors, more clients, more businesses, more companies, same thing, but they get bigger and yeah, more exposure for us. And as we go higher up in market cap and we break that $1 million market cap, there's going to be a lot more marketing that goes on for, everything that we're doing, all things XPX. So appreciate all of you guys, Danielle, Darren, Psychedelic Angel, Mr. Mo, TK, Saphir. You guys are amazing. All of you guys pulling up to the TG, holding it down. We're pushing on this thing. We're protecting our investments. When the markets are shaking everybody out, we're holding really strong. I say we not only hold really strong, but we push. We got this month and we should own this month. A 2-year anniversary is pretty bullish. So if you're sitting on the sidelines, questioning whether you should push on your bag of XPX, I wouldn't do that. Let the markets do what they got to do. Buy Solana for cheaper, accumulate more XPX, and control the supply with me underneath this, 500K, underneath this 800K, underneath $1 million market cap, and just snatch up as much of it as you can, because the breakouts happen very, very easily on the Solana side, and the marketing push that we could do could be pretty extreme. So thank you guys for pulling up. Everybody who's tuned in and probably listening to this later on, Pump Fun. Always remember to engage on these over here. We got our community started over there. Go leave a comment if you guys like. Go over there to the live streams. You guys can find us right here, highest market cap on today's live stream, which is pretty cool. We've already started climbing back, which is awesome. And then, you know, eventually we get to this being where we have most viewers as well, right? And we're just laying the foundation. And how else could we get marketing done? You know, I'm happy that we can market on the front page of Pump Fun on the live streams, on people's phones, on people's desktop. And it's not even costing us anything but our time to come out here and get the word out there. So make sure that you guys engage on our live stream on Pump Fun, because this is us having a developer that can stream as well and lay the foundation of, you know, people who are just learning about Pump Fun to also learn about what we got going on over here with XPX, man. And, you know, if they're printing on some of these meme coins and they see that they can get a non-KYC MasterCard and be able to load up, it doesn't get any more bullish than that, right? There's going to be people who continuously see us, and somebody who's making money out here, who's buying the Lambo, who's building a business, is going to want something that can, you know, let them use that money in the real world. Come over here, start your accounts. Don't miss out and stay locked in. Get a bag on the BNB chain. Crazy discount, 150K on BNB side, 140K on the Solana side, which is nice. You're looking, price settling pretty nice, fam, I must say, and not far away from, here they go running up again. So like I said, not just holding strong when the markets are doing really good. XPX, if you're listening, all the investors, the community members, let's also push. This month it belongs to us, no matter what the prices are of BTC and everything. And this is our 2-year anniversary. It's pretty amazing. Most businesses don't last 6 months to a year. The fact that we're pulling up on year 2 and already building for the following year, Q4, Q5, the start of next year, Q1, is why, you know, we're going to keep building on this thing. There is no plan B. XPX marks the spot for all things payments. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys can't do that, continue to come back and experience the abundance of money with me. Until next time, you guys know what it is. If you got something to prove, then just prove it. Bandwagon, no bandwagon. You do what you got to do no matter what. No plan B. Send it.
So your bag's backed up against the wall, and the bandwagon's falling right off. And you're hearing all the talk about maybe you should think about what you're gonna do